All right, guys, I just got back from the gym, and so I did my part 1 and part 2 to these new black tie barn oils yesterday, and I did 20 of them out of the bottle, and I basically since then have been I've been dying to get into the rest of this box. I haven't even ruffled the packing peanuts because I really wanted to save this experience to have with you. But I can't even wait, so I haven't even taken a shower yet. I know, I'm all sweaty and a mess. But you know what? We're gonna get into this box. I'm gonna put it back on the table. We're gonna open up, see what else is in there, and smell some more oils. If you are new to the channel, hi, my name is Alan, and I'm a little bit obsessed with fragrances. And proud, but anyways guys, if you are new to these videos, definitely check out the description box. I'm gonna have all my black tie barn oils linked down there, my videos kind of talking about them. This has become very quickly one of my new favorite companies, and most of you guys would be familiar with the owner of this company, Wade Thomas. We've all probably watched some of his videos on YouTube. I will link his channel below as well as his website. None of this is sponsored or affiliated. I just like to support stuff that I really like and that I think is quality for you as my fellow makers and community watching this video. But anyways, let's get right into it and give it a like if you are enjoying, and yeah, let's get into it. Oh my God. I'm so excited to smell this one. So packing slip always goes to the side for these videos. I don't look at it. I want to be totally surprised. All right, guys, so I did mention this before, but I don't even know what collection what is in, because I just like to do these candidly. So he sent me like the remainder of his oils, and I don't even know what collection any of it is from. I just literally like to be surprised and smell it and tell you what I'm picking up. So first up we have the Violet Haze. I have heard some things about this oil, kind of some people saying that they really liked it and some people not so sure about it, so I'm curious to smell that. And then we've got, oh God, I've heard a lot about this one too. The Peculiar Pine. So this, I'm thinking is gonna maybe be almost like a winter scent, maybe have some fir notes to it, and I'm very excited for this. We've got the Tahitian Cream. I want to say, if I remember correctly, this is like a, was this a summer scent? I don't know. I think Wade commented this on one of my videos where I was talking about summer oils, and he was like, oh, we have one similar to that called the Tahitian Cream. I think it was, he said it's similar to mango and coconut milk, but I have no idea. We're gonna find out. All right, next up, we've got, oh, I'm so excited for this one, guys, the First Snow. So anything that reminds me of being in a snow globe, or that gives me that whimsical, kind of peaceful, quiet feel of being out in a white wilderness, particularly at dusk, and even in the morning when the sun is first starting to rise, it's just magical to me. So I'm very intrigued by that. Next up, we have the Sunset Musk. I do really enjoy all these names, how they really relate and bring in the nature and the element of story, but interplaying that with nature and nostalgia. So this one is intriguing to me because particularly at sunset, there's often like an amber glow to the sky and to the air, and it just smells different. So yeah, anyways. Okay, we got the Risky Christmas. No clue where this name is coming from, but I do have some ideas in my head of why I might name a fragrance something like this. Maybe it's a blend of a lot of different things, like stuff that might not normally be paired together. Or maybe it's like a coal, like a naughty list fragrance. Next up, we have the Sugared Chestnuts. Okay. Playing it safe with the name on that one. We've got the Seduction Juliet's Weapon. I thought I just reviewed a scent like that. Oh no, that was the Fantasy, I believe. Juliet's Weapon. So this is the Seduction. I believe I said maybe her weapon was the Seduction. So he actually has two fragrances, and there's another one that is named the Seduction. So clearly that was not her weapon. All right, next up we have the Mob. Oh God, guys, I'm so excited for the Mob. So the Bandit has become one of my very favorites. I'm actually burning it right now. This one's actually failing its test though. It's tunneling a bit. Well, I mean, some of that is normal, but I'd like to see this. It's actually capable of a much better hot throw than this particular candle is producing. I've made like 5 different ones and kind of choosing my favorite. But anyways, we have the Mob. Next up, we have the White Velvet. I wonder if this is going to be like along the lines of Velvet Vanilla, for example, by Candle Science. Or if this is going to be more of like a red velvet cake, but done white velvet style, like kind of a more wedding cake type of a vibe. We have the, oh God, this is exciting. The Death Valley. I wonder if this is going to be like something that reminds me of Death Valley. Something orange, kind of like the ground, like clay, maybe pomelo, pink pepper, palo santo. I don't know. I'm throwing shit out there, guys. I'm so excited. Oh God, the crackling birch. I know what this is gonna be because in my last haul, I did the bandit and I was like at the very end, or it was one of my previous hauls, and I'll link it below for you all. But I was thinking it was gonna be crackling birch because Wade got me into that oil by Nature's Garden, and probably a lot of you as well. He's been very obsessed with it for a long time, and I thought his bestseller, the Bandit, was going to be a version of Cracklin' Birch, the one that actually, it's not just Nature's Garden. Midwest has one too that's spot on, like pretty much the same. So we'll see how this one compares. Next up, we have the Vanilla Potpourri. Okay, I'm wondering if this is going to be like a maybe like vanilla with different kinds of fruity notes to it, but also like some spice, like a Madagascan vanilla. Alright. Oh my God, you guys, there's a lot. So I'm gonna do, my God, we've already done 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Let's try to get 20. We have the Lullaby. Now, I actually named a fragrance the Twilight Lullaby a long time ago. It was actually a cold process, so hold on a second. Let me see if I can get you a bar. Alright, forgive this. This is one of my worst looking bars of soap. This is not even for sale. This is a personal one that I kind of kept back because it didn't look as good as the rest. But this is, it's actually a blend of 2 different oils. I'll put the name on the screen of the oils that are in this, but it's kind of a more sensual type of a dusky feel. And it has almost like a purple quality to it. So anyway, I wonder if that will be kind of along the lines of something like that, where it is more of like a Twilight Woods by Bath & Body Works type of a vibe. That's the oil that this soap uses, and I may have blended it with something too. Can't remember exactly. Anyways, and then we have the Fireside Noel. Wonder if this is going to be more like a, well, the Aspen Chill kind of reminded me a little bit of a version of a Christmas hearth fragrance. So I wonder if this is going to be kind of like that, but almost with like the bonfire, like the Christmas wreath. Also, if you guys hear thunder, we're getting a storm right now. Okay, we have the Lodge, which is one that I've been very intrigued by because I think, oh God, I gotta turn this phone off. The Lodge is one that anything that kind of reminds me of an up north lodge is very intriguing to me. So we'll see what that one does. And then we've got the Gretel's Kiss. All right, I wonder if that's going to be like a gingerbread type of a vibe. What in the world? Sorry guys, we had some power lines come down the other day. We had a really big storm and trees come down, and so there's a bunch of construction guys out there kind of repairing stuff, and if you hear that like beeping and whatnot, there's a lot of vehicles out there. Anyways, we got the Spring Cleaning. I was actually going to name a fragrance this as well, but then I decided it wouldn't brand very well for the whole year. But Spring Cleaning has a very specific vibe to it that to me almost is like you have your windows down and there's almost that freshness to the air that is unique to the springtime. So I'm very excited for this one. Jeez, there's a lot of oils in here. I had no idea that he had this many. I thought when I had 22 that I had most of them. All right, we have the First Rain. Maybe this is gonna be like a petrichor, maybe like a dewy type of a scent, or maybe like a scent right before it has rained and when it hasn't rained for a really long time. I have no idea where he's going with that. And then we got the, oh, I'm excited for this, guys. I wanna say this is from the Love Story collection, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, I haven't been on the website for a few weeks, but I wanna say this is from that collection, so I'm very excited. And then we also have got the Picnic and the Peonies. Okay, so I'm not a floral person, but I do tend to like peony fragrances. Come on now, focus, baby. I do tend to like peony fragrances. They're not as obtrusive. They're kind of more springtime, kind of fresh and crisp, and almost have like a little bit of an apple or a sage note to them, kind of built in there. We have the First Crush. Kind of scared for this. I don't know. Crush, sugar blush type vibes are usually not my thing. But I do like the sugar blush. Wouldn't have it in my line personally, but it is a nice kind of take on a cashmere vanilla. All right, we got the Summer Storm. Oh my God, you guys, this is one of the ones I'm most excited for sure. I wonder if this is gonna have like a lavender driftwood type of an ozonic aesthetic to it. Man, there's a lot of oils in here. Okay, we're gonna just open up all of them. We got the Velvet Berry. I'm gonna try to move a little faster here. The Devil's Candy. Okay, it's like a hot tamale or something. We have the Harvest Market. Very, very intrigued by this name. Jeez. The Spring Shower. There's a lot of like kind of rain scents. I think that is everything. So if you are new to these videos, just a couple quick disclaimers. These are just my out-of-the-bottle first impressions. Fragrance is very subjective. You always want to do your own out-of-the-bottle first impressions before you have any final impressions, and definitely test them in a final product as well, because these out-of-the-bottle first impressions, although they are very fun, wow, we just got like... This is so inspiring. Did you all hear that? Oh man, we are getting a storm. Wow. Anyways, you always want to test these in a final product before you have any final impressions. These videos are in no way sponsored. They're in no way affiliated. I will put his links in the description box. I don't get paid a dime if you click on them. It's just I'm trying to support what I think is... I don't actually know if these are any good, but the ones that I've had in the past have been, so I'll put his links if you want to check any of these oils out. That way you can for yourself. We are going to be probably breaking this up into a couple videos. I don't want to keep any of you for too long, so I'll probably do about 10 of these in this video and then another video with about 10 more. And I will also be ranking all these over on my Patreon, so yeah, definitely check that out if you are interested in my least favorite to my most favorite. Link will be in the description, at the top of my description, so that you're able to join that. All right. I hope we don't lose power during this video. Okay guys, first up, I don't know, what do you think we should do? Let's take a look at, I don't know guys, there's so many I'm interested in. I also want to say again, I don't consult anything prior to making these videos. These out of the bottle first impressions are truly my first impressions. So I will put the notes up on the screen for you, but I haven't looked at any of these prior to filming the video. And so much so that I don't even know what collection what goes with. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I had reached out to Wade Thomas, the owner of Black Tie Barn, to see if he'd be willing to send me the remainder of his oils for a review on the channel, since many of you have been enjoying these videos so much. And he said, sure. So he threw like a whole box together with every single oil that I hadn't tried out, but I don't know what collection any of them are from. So we're just gonna wing it and just have fun. I don't know, first up, maybe let's take a look at the Vanilla Potpourri. I'm kind of wondering if this is gonna be like a vanilla fragrance combined with some sort of fruity notes to it, like a, I don't know, like some dried fruit. Oh God, I can smell something from like a foot away with this. Oh. This smells like something that I remember my mother getting. What is, oh my God. This is something that she would get from either Yankee Candle or Bath & Body Works. Very reminiscent. A summer scent, believe it or not. I was thinking like with a name like Potpourri that it was gonna lean maybe more kind of fall and winter. But this actually is a very spring and summer type of a vibe. Yeah, this is almost reminds me of like a blueberry cheesecake, like a baked strawberry whipped tart of some sort that we used to cook every year. So my grandma for 4th of July used to make it was almost like a pizza, but it was baked, and it was red, white, and blue. So it had fresh strawberries and blueberries, but then it had like a crust that she would make, and then it had like a whipped topping on it that she would also make from scratch. And I almost get that whipped cream in this. It is so rich. Wow. Okay guys, I actually like this oil. I don't know that it's something I would put in my line, but I'd be very tempted to for the summer because it is so reminiscent of my childhood. This is like what I would eat before I started stringing together explosives. So I used to beg my dad to go to this place called Sheldon Fireworks in Indiana, and we would actually drive like 2 hours to go there because his brother, who was a police officer, would always tell us like, you guys can't do anything too too conspicuously that's illegal. So this is where you got to go to get the real stuff, and then do it in your backyard. So I would get, you know, we would always do the bottle rockets. We had a pipe that we would put them in and then shoot them off into the backyard. Now, this was not dangerous because we actually had like a valley area. And so when we would do this, they would go into the woods. Like there weren't houses or anything. There was actually a river behind my house. And then in the front yard, I would actually make my own displays. So I would get usually lots of different types of things, chain them all together with this very long fuse, and then light the whole thing off at night. This reminds me though of my grandmother, my Italian grandmother, my dad's mom, who would come over, and she had this very spunky personality, and she would always stop by our door without any sort of like mention previously, with some sort of baked good that she would make. And she would always wrap it up, and she was very polite and very, very sweet, but also really sassy and spunky at the same time. And this really reminds me of what she would make around 4th of July, but it has a richness to it. The nice thing about this fragrance oil is you could do it year round because you could brand this. This is something you want to keep in your line, I would say year round. But you could also like, gosh, you could, if you sell at different markets, you could have this for one type of thing for like the summertime, like a blueberry, strawberry, I don't even know what she called that, if it was a tart or a pie. It wasn't a pie, it was like a baked, festive type of a thing, but it had a crust to it as well. But then in the wintertime, you could also brand this, I don't know, I do feel like it's more spring and summer, but it's rich enough that you could pull this in some way for a winter scent too, I feel like. This is really thundering outside. I love it. It's so inspiring to me. I really would love to live like in the Pacific Northwest. Well, no, actually, I like where I live because of all the different seasons here, but I'm always inspired by storms and rain and mist and all that. All right, on that note, let's take a look at the spring shower. So I'm gonna do a bunch of these in a row, these kind of watery scents. Let's do the spring shower, and then let's do, maybe after that, I'm trying to find one of the other ones. First rain, yeah, we'll do that one next. I thought there was one more too. Oh, the summer storm. Okay, I want to do all three of these in a row so I can kind of compare them for you. So spring shower, based on the name, I'm expecting something that's going to be fresh, maybe have like some violet, and I can literally smell something a foot away with the cap on. Like I just barely cracked the cap. But I'm expecting something that it has maybe like some violet to it, some lily, and I can smell something literally a foot away, like strong. So violet, lily, something that almost reminds me of Yankee Candle had several different ones that I grew up with, like Midsummer's Night, I think one of them was, and then Stormwatch was another one. I actually have a Stormwatch candle that blends Candle Science lavender driftwood with, sea minerals with lavender driftwood by Candle Science. So I wonder if this is going to be along the lines of that. Like capture that ozonic note, but also like fresh and have some like floral notes to it too. Like an, oh my God, I can smell this a foot away, you guys. Okay. Yep. This is exactly the character. Yep. Okay. This isn't as perfumey as the Midsummer's Night by Yankee, if you're familiar with that one. Flaming Candle, by the way, has a spot-on dupe for it if you're not familiar. It is really nice, but it's more perfumey and it's a little more masculine. This is a fresh, really light, airy scent that is reminiscent of, like while it's raining and after it's rained, because you're almost getting a hint of the grass. Like maybe your neighbor started mowing his lawn a little bit after it rained. And then also there's a little bit of a purple flower of some sort in this that I'm picking up. Maybe a violet haze or something, or like a, oh, gosh, there's also some more sophisticated notes in this one that I can't quite put a finger on. It almost also smells like there's some wildflower to it, some dandelion, just a lot of fresh things that are growing and kind of mingling around in the air, kind of combining with those different kind of earthier notes from the dirt and the grass a little tiny bit, and also like the kind of haziness to the air, like the ozone in the air, kind of the humidity after it is stormed. All right, let's take a look at the summer storm. See how this compares to the first rain. Now, this has a storm in the name, so I'm expecting something a little more dramatic with this, something that might even capture some lightning and maybe even some suspense. Standing on the porch just before it storms has got to be one of the most, actually my cousin, Marisa, if you're watching this, she had actually asked me if I would be willing to write my 3 favorite things in my whole life so that she could like think about them. She asked a bunch of different family members this. And I really thought about this. I actually took several months to respond back to her. But one of my 3 favorite things, by the way, they were all scents, which was kind of weird because I was like, is scent really everything for me? Like, why am I so tied to scent? Like, am I actually an animal? Like, am I a dog? But one of them was being on the porch just before it storms. When I was a kid, I would actually try to go outside, not fully outside, but like on the porch. We didn't have like a full-on fenced-in porch. Actually, my other grandma did. And I loved standing outside on hers right before it would storm. She lived kind of out in the country, in Harbor Country, kind of near New Buffalo, Michigan, where she was like a mile from, actually it was called Harbor Beach, but it's Lake Michigan. And I would stand out there and I could almost smell like some of the sand coming through the breeze a little bit too with that storm energy. And it was very dramatic. And we would also sometimes get tornadoes, and she would always be really scared because she would get oftentimes damage in her yard. She had a lot of big trees and she took care of everything all by herself. And so it was kind of a lot. But I would usually just be so excited. And I just remember that excitement, and it was like adrenaline, but in a really calming way. Anyways, that was long-winded. Here goes the summer storm. I'm so excited for this. Oh, this is earthier than I expected. I really like it though. Okay, this actually captures more of, this is very herbal. If you have smelled, God, I'm trying to think. I'll put some of the names up of some of the new Candle Science ones. Not the Apothecary, but there's another one that this really kind of reminds me of. This actually almost has like a thistle note or like a dandelion, some weeds or something that are like coming up from the ground. Yeah, there's a very crisp note to this, and I can't tell if it's like meadow thistle or if it is, wow, this is, as it dries down, really developing more. It's got like a sage note, maybe a little bit of camphor to it. I don't know, honestly, that I would call it the summer storm personally. The name does actually throw me off a bit for this fragrance. This is more of like a meadow lark, meadow thistle, cottage witch type of a vibe. I can sort of get a lot of ozonic notes though to it, some kind of more bluish green type of notes that I could sort of deduce a storm. But I guess maybe my version of a storm is tied more closely to like kind of something a bit less herbal than this. So if you have an apothecary line, for example, this would definitely fit well within it. Very herbal, earthy. There's even like a little bit of moss to this one. I'd call it, if I had to put a color on it, almost like a sage green. Actually, what this reminds me of is I had a couple of friends that I grew up with that lived out in the country on 37 acres, and they actually had like a pond in their yard, and they had all these kind of cattails and wild thistle and goldenrod, and there would be like birds kind of flying over and ducks swimming in the pond, and then there were also deers, and they had chickens. And They also had an herb garden, and we would actually throw watermelons at the ground and crack them open and just eat them out in the yard. But this almost reminds me of being near that pond where there were so many different things that were growing wild, like different nettles and different types of wild flowers native to Michigan. This is a very, very sophisticated fragrance. But I don't know that the name Summer Storm, me personally, I think that I would market this as something more herbal, again, cottage witch, apothecary-esque, but not in a medicinal apothecary like as in a dragon's blood incensey way. No, this is very much placed in nature, out in, I would say, the countryside, but where there's also a water element involved and lots of different kind of native natural grasses and wild thistles and flowers. Next, let's take a look. Oh, did we do? No, let's take a look at the first rain. I'm wondering if this is going to be something, because it says the first rain, like after it has been dry for a really long time and like sort of like a drought, and you're starting to smell like, you see like the stillness to the air and can almost smell the humidity, and you know like it's going to start raining, and there's that sort of sense of peace in the air. I wonder if that's what he's kind of going for with this. Oh, this is more floral than I would have expected. Huh. This is a clean floral. I do sort of get some aquatic notes to it, but I don't know about rain. I mean, yeah, this is like a number of, I'll bet you there's at least 2 or 3 different floral notes in this. Maybe some lily, cyclamen, maybe some, man, it's pretty sophisticated floral notes to this. A bit too floral for my taste, personally. I mean, I'm intrigued by it, but if I were going to go floral, I'd go for something like the Summer Storm, which combines that floral with a lot of earthy, like wildflowers and like grasses and meadows and thistles. This is definitely more of a pronounced floral scent with a little bit of aquaticness in the background. I could see this fitting into a spa line really well. Like you could call this like Floating Lotus or something, or Day on the, I was going to say Day on the Lake, but no, it's more something that would have to incorporate like a lily pad or something that's kind of got like a floral note to it as well. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this one. Everything does come together though. There's nothing really competing in it. Okay, after that, let's do, let's take a look at the Devil's Candy. I'm probably not gonna like this. Most things that are candy marketed oils, but I will say this company has had some that I have actually quite liked. Like the Orange Skittle, I think is a really sophisticated kind of peppercorn pomander, or not really peppercorn pomander, kind of like a persimmon type of a fragrance or a citron, rather than an Orange Skittle. But I do equally get like a sour Patch Candy from it too. Anyways, the Devil's Candy. I wonder if it's gonna be like a cinnamon something, like a hot tamale or something. I don't know. Ignore me. Yup. Whoa. Yup, that is, yeah, it is. Very prominent cinnamon note. But what's nice about it is there's actually a lot of clove in here too. So you're not just getting whacked with the cinnamon. There's a lot of clove that's kind of balancing it and adding some depth and sophistication. I'm also getting a nice kind of base to this one too. There's a lot of kind of woodier notes in the base. Wouldn't really say musky, but kind of like a dry wood base. A lot of cinnamon though, a lot of clove. I would say there's even more clove than cinnamon to my nose out of the bottle. I wonder if there's, man, this could almost be like a, God, I'd be tempted to call this like the cinnamon broom or something. Like if you have a witchy type of a collection, or even witch's cauldron, or you could just call it straight up, well, I have a cauldron candle. This is more, there's not nearly as much patchouli as my cauldron candle has, but I think there probably is some patchouli in here. Something a little bit skanky, a little bit kind of animalistic in the base to this one that adds Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say I like this, but this is a very well-constructed fragrance oil. I think if you're looking for something that's a bit more sophisticated, that is a cinnamon type of a scent, but has a lot of balance to it and depth, I would recommend maybe giving this one a look. All right, let's take a look at, you guys wanna do, the Violet Haze. Sugared chestnuts, I don't know. I wanna do the Lodge. No, I'm gonna save the Lodge. I know, I'm horrible. I am. I also really wanna do the, oh man. I wanna do the Bob, but I'm gonna save it. Yeah, I gotta keep you guys watching till the end. I'm gonna end this one with the Lodge. That's one of the ones I'm most excited for. How about the Fireside Noel? So, and I want to mention this too, a lot of fragrances that may be marketed more as a holiday scent, you can oftentimes market them differently, however it fits into your brand. There's really no wrong way. These are just suggestions that suppliers will kind of give us, and they're more just like a prompt for writing, but even more general than that, right? So like if you ever remember being in grade school and your writing teacher would give you like a prompt, like kind of a little bit of a basis for your work, but that is all it is really. So you can absolutely, if these work for you in a year-round collection, put them in a year-round collection. And I often do that. A number of different hearty fragrances that are marketed for the fall can oftentimes do very well as year-round fragrances. Prime example of that, Brandied Pear by Candle Science. Now, I don't like the new one, but you know, you get the point. Cashmere Plum. And I can smell this a foot away. And I'll tell you what, this is very much a Christmas hearth type of a vibe. Do you believe I can tell you that without even getting, I'm probably 2 feet from this oil. It is a, if you guys can hear that thunder. I bet the mic is kind of taking some of it out, but we might lose power. This is very much a Christmas hearth. It is a orange. I don't even have to, like, I can literally smell it. So I'm getting a balance of orange with clove. It reminds me of Christmas hearth. Yeah. Actually, this reminds me of Spot On Christmas Hearth by Candle Science. It's maybe a little less powdery though, which I do appreciate. I don't think I have any more of that fragrance oil, but my customers really like it. I'm not the biggest fan of it. This has a nice kind of pine note to it as well, and Christmas Hearth does too. Oh my God, I literally whacked myself with that. But I can feel that cinnamon kind of stinging. Yeah, it's got a nice pine note to it, and it's got a cinnamon note, it's got an orange note, classic kind of Christmas hearth type of a scent. These are very popular, not really my personal taste, but customers just like it. It balances like the festivities of the holiday along with the warmth of kind of sitting around the fire, and you kind of get that in this fragrance through the clove and the cinnamon that comes through, and then they are balanced with a nice kind of base. So there's like maybe some sandalwood or some cedar or something, or some musks in the base to this one. All right, let's take a look at, I'm excited for the Sunset Musk. I don't know, let's do the Lullaby. Wonder if this is gonna remind me of the Twilight Saga that I was so obsessed with as a kid. I wonder if this is gonna be more of a floral type of a fragrance or something that's like comforting, like you're in someone's embrace that you really love. I wonder if this is from the Love Story collection. I'm very curious. I don't know, here we go. Oh. Huh. Okay, what am I, so this is a much cleaner fragrance. There's some floral notes, and I've just whacked myself again. I need to go clean my nose off, guys, because I now have cinnamon plus this. All right, I'll be right back. Yeah, okay, this reminds me like if Tide were to do like a higher end scent or Gain. Yeah, it's like a higher end laundry detergent or something. I wonder if it is kind of like if you imagined music playing to this, like a piano type of a theme. It's a very pure scent. I was thinking something a little bit more, I was gonna say tainted. No, but this is a really pure take. Yeah, this would be like your first love or something. If this is from the Love Story collection. I still have Bella and Edward in my head with this. It doesn't really fit. Yeah, this is a very, it's a well-constructed fragrance oil. Everything goes really well together. I mean, you get a clean component and you get a floral component. It's balanced out really well. There's a purity to it, in a sense of comfort. I wouldn't really say excitement. It's more of like you're really comfortable with that person. This almost reminds me of a fabric softener my grandma used to have. If I look like Rudolph, it's because I had just left again to try to make sure I got all that off my nose. Okay, let's do 3 more oils for this video. What did I say I was gonna end with? Was it... Oh, we're gonna end with the Lodge, that's what I said. Okay, let's do the Velvet Berry. I wonder if this is a summer scent. It sounds like it might be. I don't know. It could also be more of a winter berry too. Wonder if a velvet berry is something that's like a berry combined with some cashmere. Or like a berry that's more high-end, and I can already smell something from like a foot away. Oh! And I just whacked myself with this. This has a lot of similarities to the Potpourri. Yeah, there's a warm sugared berry type of a note to this, almost like a warm berried jam. This actually reminds me very much of my Thimbleberry Jam candle, which is one of my best sellers. It's a blend of Stone Candles, red cranberry, or sorry, yeah, red cranberry, or it could be red currant. I'll put the name up on the screen, with Candle Science Black Raspberry Vanilla. This reminds me very much of that. It has a red quality, almost not a bright red, but almost like a purplish red quality. There's probably some black raspberry, some blackberry to this. Yeah, it's weird because this literally reminds me of my blend. So we have up north in Michigan, thimbleberries, which grow in the wild, and they are, I think, a relative of raspberries and blackberries, but they're not exactly the same. They're kind of more tart. There's almost like a rhubarb note that I'm picking up a little bit in this that really reminds me of a thimbleberry. And they grow in kind of these little mystical forest entrapment type things that are near Lake Superior. So there's kind of that earth and dirt and vines, tangled vines and log cabin aesthetics. And that's what I get from this. Yeah, I like it. I'm very surprised. I may have to consider this because I wouldn't have to blend anything for that candle. I'm very curious how this comes through in wax. This spot on smells like my Thimbleberry Jam candle. Like, all right, guys, I'm gonna have to go get it and do a side-by-side for you. I'm a little freaked out right now. I'll be right back. All right, so we've got Thimbleberry Jam here, and this is one of my best sellers in my Maker's Favorites collection. Okay. Wow. And then this is the Velvet Berry. Very, very similar. So again, this is a blend of Stone Candles, red currant, geez, with Candle Science Black Raspberry Vanilla. Put this Velvet Berry back on the strip here. Wow. If somebody were to put this in the candle and tell me that this was my Thimbleberry Jam candle, I would not know the difference. Oh my God, you guys. Wow. That's freaky. Because that is a blend that's very unique from two different companies. Wow. All right. Next, take these gloves off. I don't handle my black containers without gloves on just because the oil on my skin or anyone's skin can kind of get on those jars. And customers don't really mind it, but you don't want it to arrive to them like that, right? It's kind of like if you bought a new iPhone and you shipped out their phone and had fingerprints all over it, like they'll get their own on it, but you don't want to have it yours on there when they get it. All right, let's do 2, 4, 6, 8, 2 more oils. I want to take a look at the Death Valley. I'm really intrigued by the name on this one. I'm wondering if this is going to be like a very, like I picture something really orange or like a terracotta color, like almost like the ground in the Southwest. Something that is arid, something that reminds me of maybe, again, like a pomelo type of a note. Like if you've smelled some of the bronzed fragrances by Makesy, like bronzed orris and bitter suede or bronzed suede, and I'll put the 2 names up on the screen that I'm thinking of. I really like those fragrances. So, or maybe this will be along the lines of Mojave by 1617. I don't know. Oh my God. This is Mojave. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Okay guys, I'm gonna have to go get a bottle of Mojave and do a side-by-side for you. Whoa. So we found several Makesy oils. Okay, I don't know that this is exact though. I think there may be something subtly different about it. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a bottle of that. All right, just ran up 3 flights of stairs here. Watermelon Crush, baby. This is an energy drink. I don't think I like this flavor. It tastes like it makes my lips just want to curl. All right, guys, here's a bottle of Mojave. This is a couple years old. This is my last bottle from them. But a lot of their fragrance, well, if you store fragrance properly, it depends on the oil though too. You gotta store it properly, away from light. Keep your bottles tight because you don't want that oxygen getting in there because that's what'll cause them to oxidize and decay quicker. But keep your bottles as full as possible, as tight as possible, in a cool temperature away from light. So, and if you do that with a lot of oils, you can get a couple years out of them. Not all, but a lot of them. Okay, so I'm gonna do a new strip on the Death Valley. So this is the 1617. So on my right, your left, we have the 1617 Mojave. On my left, your right, we have the Black Tie Barn Death Valley. Here's the 1617. And here's the Black Tie Barn. And I just whacked myself with that. There's something subtly different I want to say, but I'm not even sure. The Black Tie Barn one smells a little more natural to me. It doesn't come through with quite as striking an alcoholic note as the 1617 does. Like it's not quite as sharp, it's a little more... Yeah, it's a little more rounded. I wonder if there's a little bit of geranium in this. Well, in both of them, but like in the Black Tie Barn, maybe a little bit more. But it's not like more floral or anything. Maybe there's a little more of the Palo Santo or something, or like the more woody bass notes to this. It also has more, man, I don't know if I'm just imagining stuff, but I do feel like it has a more developed orange character to it as well. The Black Tie Barn one. They're both very, very similar though. So if you liked Mojave by 1617, obviously you're gonna wanna test out the Death Valley in your product because it could perform differently. But it's so similar that I feel like your customers would not notice any difference. I will also put the price point up on the screen of the Death Valley by Black Tie Barn. And the 1617 Mojave would retail for a 16-ounce bottle like this would be, I think, $69.50. So, and I bet you Wade isn't even charging. I'll bet you his is at least 30% or 40%, even possibly less than the 1617 would have retailed for. So I'll put the current price as of today on the screen, but that is cool. I always like to try to call that out for you guys because, especially for companies that have closed, I mean, I can't speak for, I know Maple Street, Candle Co. and Hive and Honey have a lot of the 1617 oils. I can't speak for them, and I can't speak for Wade Thomas either, right? I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. I'm not endorsed by them. What I can tell you, though, from my testing experience of the Black Tie Barn oils is that the concentrations of them are very, very strong. So I highly doubt that the concentration is anything less than the 1617 would have been. And if anything, it possibly could even come through a little bit more, is my guess. That's just my 2 cents. All right, last oil for this video is gonna be the Lodge. Very excited for this. I wonder if this is gonna like take me up north and I feel like I'm like at a ski lodge and looking outside and watching people ski and the snow kind of coming down, and also I'm smelling the wood and a little bit of smoke from the fire. So let's see what this oil is gonna do. And I can smell something from like a foot away with this. Oh, not what I expected. This is very eucalyptus prominent. If you like Woodland Snow by Candle Science, for example, this has a lot of those camphor notes and a tiny bit of maybe some fire smoke in the very far distance, and has a heck of a lot of eucalyptus to it. There's some sage to this that I pick up, maybe even some thyme or some different herbal notes. Again, very apothecary-like. Not in, well, it's in a medicinal way, as in an herbal medicinal way, but not like an incensey type of a way. Yeah, this would be a good one for a year-round type of apothecary line, I would say. Again, not what I was really expecting. I was maybe hoping to get, well, as it dries down though, I am getting more of those base notes. I was gonna say I was hoping to get a little more smoke with this and maybe a little bit less of that eucalyptus and sage. I mean, I'm getting a lot of sage with this. I don't know if it's in there, but I'm getting a lot of sage. Yeah, I am also getting maybe something that's like a birch note or like a white type of a tree note in this. In my next video, I will be reviewing 10 more of these oils, including but not limited to the Peculiar Pine, the Risky Christmas. Let's do the Mob maybe in the next one, and possibly the Tahitian Cream, and I don't know, whatever else we decide to choose. Oh, I think I also want to do the Amber Desire. I was very excited for that one. If you guys did enjoy, give it a thumbs up. Also, let me know which of these oils that I reviewed today have you tried, or which ones are you most excited to try. And I will be ranking all these over on my Patreon, so definitely check that out. A huge thank you to Black Tie Barn for sending me these oils for an authentic review on the channel. And yeah, guys, I'm sending all of you peace, love, and light. Wishing all of you happy candle making. I'd like to take the time to thank my patrons for their incredible support.
Trusting your instincts, realize that knowing looks different to each. When living authentic, do more exploring, deeper than knowing just what is essential for life that is thriving. Go deep, mute out the chatter, feel it of all that's standing. Live free from worry. Live by just being. Power in finding your wholeness in now. Goldie, mute out the chatter. Feel it, burn off the fire. Let go until there's peace to your core. Live a life you adore. Live a life you adore.
Keep being yourself. Stay authentic at all costs. And never lose your spark. Because that's what makes your brand uniquely you. I see you. I'm rooting for you. And I know you have what it takes to be successful and to have fun with this craft. Until next time, happy candle making.